exhausted. This passion is never exhausted. We the stars, we the stars. Young stars, the young stars. We the stars, we the stars. The young stars, the young stars. We the stars, we the stars. The young stars, the young stars. Still a repetition. Like we going on a mission. The only one with decisions. Whoa, whoa. Sometimes you gotta be a little outrageous. Sometimes you gotta be outlandish. Sometimes you gotta be outrageous. Sometimes you gotta be outlandish. She's smiling me, falling me. But I love my little girl, Mary.
Welcome, guys, to this Lumix GH6 launch event watch party, as we're calling it. This is the Frame Voyager YouTube channel. I'm here with another camera channel and Caleb Hoover, who is our awesome Lumix guest here and ready to talk to us about Lumix cameras. I'm a very big Blackmagic guy, as everyone on the channel knows, but I'm excited about, who's not to be excited about any kind of camera release? And I know we're all
Absolutely.
so
It's an exciting time.
it's so awesome. So I guess let's
About
go.
time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's get into I guess introducing all the guests and stuff, and telling us a little bit about yourselves and what got you into filmmaking. So another camera channel, you go ahead and go first.
Hey guys, I'm another camera channel, also known as Xander, if you want to call me Xander. I'm a filmmaker who lives in South Korea, so I don't get any free products from any companies, which is very sad because I'm too far away. But I primarily do a lot of like interviews, little commercials, and recently got big into live streaming. And just like John, I am a big Blackmagic guy, but I do have GH5, so I have experience with these cameras from before, and I'm really excited to see what comes out today.
Same. What about you, Caleb? What got you into Lumix cameras?
Yeah, Lumix. Well, I started on the GH4 way back in the day, and then, got the GH5 when it first came out. And, I've been shooting on that ever since, and I use it for freelance video. It's probably the perfect camera for what I do. I do a lot of, smaller scale productions. I work a lot with nonprofits, so it kind of falls into that whole like handheld and quick hits, low budget type stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, I also shoot a lot of interviews,
Yeah.
and cover it up with B-roll. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah, for sure.
love it.
So do you like the Micro Four Thirds mounting system?
It's very versatile. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
It's not bad. I mean, there are definitely its limitations. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's not bad, but it's not perfect either. Let's just put it that way.
John loves Micro Four Thirds, as you can tell by his
I
last
mean-
video.
oh, when I was
He
talking
loves it
about
too much. Yeah.
I probably
You love your
okay.
4K better than your 6K, so it's like
I do. I think I get ridiculed for that several times, but I think it's nostalgia. I just like that Pocket 4K camera. It's so nice.
yeah. I mean, you do get more
That is a nice
lenses, so
camera.
that is true.
You do. I mean, and it's nice to have that option where, like, if you get an EF mounted system, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
which it can only use EF mount for the most part. Where MFT, you just go to anything you want to. But yeah, so everyone, we're actually going to be showing the actual live stream and commentating on it here. The GH6 right here. I'll pull it up real quick so you can see what it's going to look like. This is currently it. We're just waiting for it to start, and whenever it starts, I will be pulling it up so we can watch here, and you'll be getting commentary from everyone.
Solo.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. So apparently, well, John was just telling me this earlier because I didn't see this, that a lot of the stuff is already leaked. So what do we know
Yep.
already?
Yeah. Well, we know the 5.7K. We know the probably with dual IBIS 7.5 steps of IBIS with it, which is, I mean, the GH5 has 5,
Wow.
5 stops of IBIS. So, I mean, it's pretty substantial. Would it be a gimbal killer? I don't know. That sounds like a video, as a video
Ooh,
title.
That's a
But
good title. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, there's let's see.
I know
Just gonna
I've
bring-
heard that it still has DFD autofocus too.
It
so.
does, yeah. And that's going to be obviously that's going to be the biggest conversation around the GH6, because here's the thing, I don't think they really, if it does have that DFD, they say it's improved. They said it was improved on the, GH5 Mark II as well. I don't know. There's probably going to be pulsing. Like if you're shooting like a talking head like this, there's probably going to be pulsing in the background, which is like the biggest issue. Like if you're doing any type of tracking, if you're on a gimbal, if you're doing any type of tracking, that holds on pretty well. But once you get into a setting like this, that those lights, especially if you have, I did a test with like Christmas lights back there, it just, it just pulses. Like you stay in focus pretty well, but the background pulses and it's so distracting. And I think that's the biggest issue with that DFD.
Which DFD, for all those you wondering who maybe don't know what DFD is, it is depth from defocus.
Yep.
I guess it's it was in the GH4 originally in 2014, but I guess it works by examining 2 images taken with focus at different distances and analyzing their sharpness so that the camera can determine which way and how far to adjust the lens to get the subject sharp. So when it does it so fast, you don't really know it. But I know there's some issues with that, and I'd almost assume that's because it's an MFT sensor or an MFT system. I'm sorry, not MFT sensor.
Caleb, I have a question. What if you're using autofocus, like what settings are you using on your GH5?
Well, first of all, just gonna be honest, I don't use autofocus on my GH5. I tested it. I tested it on the GH5 Mark II, but I never have autofocus on my GH5.
Interesting.
It's just, I just don't use it, and I don't really have any desire to fight it. You know what I mean? So, if it's improved, that'll be on the GH6. If it's improved, that'll be awesome. I probably still won't use it a whole lot unless there is like that tracking shot or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I know there's an issue with it too in the past where it has to be at 60p, right? And it can't be.
It performs best at a higher frame rate. Yes.
Yeah. So
if you're shooting 60, it's going to perform way better than if you're at 24.
Yep. Sweet. Okay. So the cool thing with this, with doing it this way, we can actually pull up different questions that people have during the time, and we can kind of address them. So here we have AP Studios, who I've actually been on live stream with, their Nikon user group. Yes. Of course, you can join the party. I'm happy to have you.
Nice.
And let me see. Sean Lewis, hot intro. Thank you.
It was a fantastic intro. Very nice.
Oh man.
A shout out to Artlist. Artlist makes the best music libraries. I think they actually use actual.
Pretty good. I like it. I've been using Audio quite a bit lately. Are you familiar with them?
Audio.io, Audio.io.
Audio.
Yeah, I paid for like the lifetime, and then I've downloaded like one song.
Oh, have you? Man,
only one song so far.
I've really been digging their music. I know this isn't a music live stream right now, but just thought I'd toss that out there for anyone.
Links in the description, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just click on that affiliate link.
Yeah.
Here we have Sean Lewis, who's asking how many megapixels. I think it's 25, right?
Yeah, 25. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it used to be 20. Was it 20 for the GH5?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it could be like a photo camera, but
yeah, one of the. I mean,
it's not that great.
This it's really geared towards video shooters. This one, I don't know. I mean, it's just a couple steps away from being an actual cinema camera, like a Pocket 4K or something. I mean,
you think it just needs some RAW, or
needs RAW? Does
Or
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
raw.
Red. I'm sorry, Red. Not raw.
Yeah.
Debayered hybrid raws that doesn't
Yeah.
hit the patent.
That would be you know, that would be key right there. But then it's a smaller body, so you can't necessarily put an XLR input on it, but that'd be
Yep.
sweet. You can get the adapter for the top, you know, like
Yeah.
that type of thing. So, but it, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
we
a
have
hybrid
that,
camera.
yeah.
It's a hybrid camera,
Yeah.
so, but it shoot specs are pretty stellar.
Wow. I love you.
Thank you. I love you
Wow.
guys too. Thanks for joining
Wow.
this live stream. This is actually fun. This could be fun. And Sean Lewis asked if there is any hope for a raw format. I think we had talked about this before we got on, that it's actually being talked about that you can externally record to be raw potentially here soon.
Yeah,
I know
that'd
there's
be my
rumble.
guess.
Yeah.
That would probably make more sense because
Yeah,
we don't want
absolutely.
cameras overheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, but it's so small that I would
Yep.
hate to see what kind of compression would happen to any kind of
Yeah.
raw stuff in
Yeah.
body. So,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be external. I mean, a lot of the other Lumix cameras have that already.
yeah.
I think the GH5, because it's an older processor and older, you know, mechanics in it, they didn't. That's why they came out with the Mark II, you know, just so they can basically future-proof it with firmware updates and things like that. But then with the GH6, I think all that'll be on there.
Yeah.
Shooting it, recording externally in RAW and all that. I mean, it does have Apple ProRes internal though. I mean, that's a big step.
That is pretty good. Which
Yeah.
No, not ProRes RAW though, right? So
Nope.
They're gonna copy
And
a stream soon.
I know.
Every time you say raw TM,
Raw.
we need a little sign.
Raw, brought to you by Red. Yeah.
And they did put a CFast Express reader on it too. So I don't know. Some people are a little up in arms about that because they like the dual SD.
Is there space for that? Like, it's tiny.
I don't know that. I mean, they found it somewhere. They put a big old fan on the back, so maybe that's why they found enough space.
I like the dual SDs though, because are we getting a stream starting?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start. You guys keep talking amongst yourselves.
Yep.
Yeah. The dual SD stuff, the way it would, like, if one card would get full, it would automatically go over to the other one. That was a great feature, especially if you're doing like really long interviews or whatever, and you can't like, oh, hold on a minute, let me just swap cards. You know, it's a great feature. So that's a real shame if although could they keep it though? I mean, it might be a bit weird jumping from a SD to a CF card though. And CF cards are more expensive, so
they are. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. But yeah, I mean, for interview shooters especially, I mean, it's nice to have that dual SD.
Yeah. Am I a fool to ask for better low light from Anthony Wood? No.
Oh, okay. According to some people, an MFT sensor doesn't get any good low light, so you know.
I mean, I think as sensor technology progresses, these kind of things will clear themselves up. You know, like you remember that crazy camera that we shared on a Discord, which is like daylight at nighttime. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, that weird one where it was just like
exactly. That's not like a giant thing. So there must be there will be advancements in technology that eventually, like they'll get less noise or whatever. But now I don't know. We'll see.
Jaspreet tells us that GH6 might also have B-RAW capabilities. Yep, with external recorder, like we were talking about. DPC says the GH4 was more of a cinema camera than the GH6. Remove the IBIS and give it RAW and SDI, then it'll be closer to a cinema camera.
SDI, that's the other thing I was thinking.
Yeah. Do you think Lumix has it in them to contribute into the box cinema camera war that seems to be happening this year?
I doubt there'll be an SDI on this. Like, because having one of those metal connectors coming out of the body somehow is just not going to happen. And SDI is just not as consumer friendly as HDMI.
Yeah.
You know, what TVs have SDI? So you need to get like a Blackmagic SDI to HDMI box and things like that. And it's just way too complicated for a lot of people. And it would have to be like 12G SDI too. So price is going up every time.
Yep. Here's a nice. Wondering if some manufacturers also decided to adapt Tico Raw, and editing software companies decided to make it difficult to edit.
I have no idea what Tico Raw is.
Yeah, I don't
That would be
either.
the. I think I've heard of that. It's something to do with Lumix cameras or Panasonic cameras, right? Or I think they maybe were thinking about adding that in. Maybe I could be wrong.
Okay.
Jaspreet, let us know what
Raw.
you know about Tico Raw.
Yeah, seriously. I'm intrigued now.
High
know everyone's-
efficiency roar.
Ooh,
Apparently.
but you might run
Apparently
into.
maybe Nikon or Nikon is going to license it.
Oh, yep, here it is. It is Nikon. Is
Oh,
NRAW.
there we go.
NRAW. That's got a fun name.
No.
NRAW.
You gotta say it all in one
Yeah.
go.
NRAW. And Digetic Audio asks, so will it have multi-track dual recording? I'm gonna say no.
I mean, when you had the, if you had the XLR box on top, you do get the left and right split. You know,
Yeah.
so technically
That's true.
Two.
Yeah, I
two
mean,
tracks,
audio.
I guess.
I mean, one of the things they already announced with if you're using that XLR1 adapter, is that you can now go 4 tracks with it. So
True.
yeah, so with the
Ooh.
GH6, it's gonna you'll be able to do 4 tracks. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth.
I mean, where did the other 2 tracks come from? Like, there's
I
no
don't
other
know.
inputs on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Unless
how.
they
it-
let you use the
maybe get like a
headphone one
left-right
as well
splitter.
as the XLR.
Maybe just get like a little left-right splitter and he's playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I
We'll
I
let-
usually
we'll let-
record externally anyway, audio. So that's
See, that's what's great with the Blackmagic cameras. They got XLR inputs in them, or either mini
Yep.
or full size. You got the Ursa. So, for those of you just joining the stream, thanks guys for being here. The Lumix stream has not started yet. We've got this over here to the side, right here. As you can see, it's not started yet. So we'll be sure to pull that up. We'll throw in the audio. We're going to be commentating on it too, so we don't get a copyright strike that we're not doing anything different than the actual live stream. So, if you'd like the commentary, you'd like to go check out their stream. But thanks for hanging out with us and choosing your favorite news network YouTube channel, which probably not really a news network channel, but yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? The new RAW codec with it's going to be 8 to 16 bit, 2:1 and 16:1 compression ratios. It sounds similar to BRAW, but if Blackmagic made it, it'd be hard to edit, and FC Premiere did the same.
So how big is the file size going to be at 2:1? 16-bit. Like, what are we going to need?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
a raid? To carry around a raid with us? Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be insane.
I know I'd
Well,
have
maybe they're
smoke coming out. A MacBook.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
That's insane. Actually, SSD recording, that isn't on any of the GH5 2, right? You can't plug in an external drive, can you?
That
That must be a no. Your face is like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, you can't. No, you can't do that. It'd be nice.
That is such a game-changing feature
Yeah.
on a Blackmagic camera. It's
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
just be able to shove it in a drive. You can drive off to a client straight away. You don't have to worry about anything. That needs to come.
Yeah,
needs to come
that
to these
would
new
be
cameras.
huge. I think that would be huge.
Yes.
I mean, they do have the new USB-C drive port on there. So
Yeah, we
on
have
the
USB-C ports on this, so
that
shouldn't be hard,
that
right?
doesn't do it, but
Yeah.
it'd be
Unfortunately.
there is a newer one on there on the GH6. So I mean, that'd be nice to have that. I mean, obviously you can record to like the Ninja or something, but
true.
that's a little bit different.
For everyone on the live stream, if you guys have any questions about menu options or different things within the old GH5, we have it for reference on the stream. Another camera channel has actually had it hooked up to for the live
Yes.
stream for use. So
Got it right here.
it's pretty sick. So he can show us all the stuff that's going on in it. And if you guys have any questions as we're going along, if we need to reference anything. Oh, there it is.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, hey.
oh, there it is.
Here we are.
Oh no, it's gonna break. Oh no, you're gonna get that horrible thing. Yeah, I'll cut back to this now. Bye bye. Yeah.
It's got some good rolling shutter on that.
Oh, God, I love rolling shut.
All right, we're still waiting on the stream.
What's the vibe from like non-Lumix users about the GH6? Have you heard anything or
Okay, so within
Okay.
my channel, I actually ran a poll, I think.
Yeah.
To see if people were
You
interested.
did?
Let me see. Let me pull this up and see if that what the poll said again. I cannot remember. Pull it
Because
up.
I've heard everything from like, this is the
It's a
end
toy.
of. Yeah. This is the end of, Micro Four Thirds, the end of the Lumix line. To
Yep. Oh, here we go.
oh, here we go.
Come back with their own visions of what I wanted to say.
Filmmaking for me is a way of connecting to others.
My hope for the GH6 is that it's a camera I can just like have with me in every moment and just capture it in a way that I feel free.
能够找到很好，能在
But it's not
创作
the
的路
size
上
isn't changed, mate. You can do that now with your GH5.
These are
it's
are
not getting
real.
smaller.
These are
Yeah.
not scripted reviews at all.
Exactly.
街のゾンビ行ったことですね。
Oh,
Panasonic
no
has a great
subtitles.
reputation
That's
of always
interesting.
making leaps and bounds improvements that are appropriate for the time and the situations. And so we're really excited to see how Panasonic is going to pivot
Yep.
with this new camera.
We're all
I'm
excited.
happy with the
We're all
GH5.
excited to see how.
I use them all the
Yeah.
time.
We've all been
But I'm
waiting.
hoping the GH6.
I feel like this is just more hype up video.
Yeah, totally. They've been putting
finally
these on
come.
Instagram.
Oh, there it is.
There we are.
Hi, I'm Frederick Van Johnson, photographer and podcaster, and the guy behind the This Week in Photo podcast. I'd like to thank you for joining this live stream. As you might imagine, today is an exciting day for the Lumix team
Yes.
and for creators everywhere. Since the
Ooh.
beginning, Lumix has been a world leader in digital imaging innovation, from the introduction of the world's first digital single lens mirrorless camera to the addition of a host of innovations and video firsts in the celebrated GH series of cameras.
Mhm.
Today is the introduction of the brand new flagship camera in our Lumix GH
Oh,
line,
flagship.
the GH6.
Wow.
Like it.
I like it.
We've always valued the
that
vision
was
of
a cut.
filmmakers and cinematographers, just like what you watched in that introduction video. Listening to creators about their creative self-expression requirements has always been the top priority when developing Lumix cameras.
Hmm.
Except when
And
we
now
talk
the
about
Lumix team is proud
autofocus.
to unveil
Yeah.
the next stage.
Do you
in the
think it's
evolution of the
interesting they actually
GH
have
series,
a
the GH6.
they're using a lapel?
The Micro
rather
Four
than a-
Thirds system is
Oh.
already extremely well suited for video production, and GH6 will create even more creative possibilities.
It's interesting. It's not like
In
live.
short, the GH6 introduces an
pre-recorded.
Yeah.
exciting new creative
That's
dimension featuring a broader range of creative features and mobile capabilities.
Notice he said video right off the bat.
Here are some of the exciting new
Yeah.
features and
Snap.
capabilities
Video
of the
camera.
Snap
GH6.
photo.
The GH6 has adopted a new live MOS sensor and a new Venus engine. The sensor
There's that
What does that
resolution
mean?
has been
What is
increased
that
by
Venus
nearly
engine?
20% compared
I don't
to
know.
5 to
From Venus?
25.2 megapixels.
Yeah,
with
right?
higher
It gets really
resolution,
hot.
higher speed
Like,
signal
what?
readout, and wider dynamic range. Dual
Five
IS2
and-
capabilities
Wider
have
dynamic
increased to 7.5 stops. New advanced image processing technology provides high resolution and natural noise reproduction, as well as the rich, expressive
Noise
color
reproduction. Wow.
that Lumix is known for. The
Wait,
Lumix
Lumix is known for
GH6
audio
contains
reproduction?
That really
built-in
awkward
love
holding.
gamut
That
low
really
Yeah.
for
awkward
the
holding.
first time in Lumix G Micro
Oh, there's the
Four Thirds
dynamic range
cameras,
stops.
and provides a stunning
Okay.
12 plus stops of
Built-in
dynamic
B-log.
range and up to 13 plus stops of wide dynamic range using dynamic range
300
boost mode. The new
frames per
Lumix
second.
GH6 changes the game again with 422 10-bit C4K 60p
Mhm.
and unlimited
mouthful.
recording time.
Hmm.
420 10-bit 4K 120p and 422
Boost
10-bit
mode.
FHD 240p HFR
Yeah, I wonder what
or
that
high
is.
frame rate. GH6 can record FHD at a maximum of 300
pictures of the
frames per
screen
second
here.
VFR or variable
yeah,
frame
frame
rate.
rate for later.
In addition to
going lo-fi
420
mode
10-bit
here.
5.7K 60p, 420 10-bit 5.8K 30p, or 4.4K 60p,
Oh my god.
anamorphic 4:3 video can be recorded utilizing the full area of the sensor.
Oh,
the
that's interesting.
GH6 can display de-squeezed anamorphic footage on the monitor in real time.
Wow.
5.7K 30p video recording is available in ProRes
In
422
ProRes.
HQ. This is a first for Lumix. The highly
Ooh.
mobile body is equipped with a variety of video
Look at that
recording
mouth
formats
box.
covering everything
Wow.
from
Rigged
filming
up.
to post-production
Oh,
workflow.
Bonneville Salt
Yeah.
Flats.
The GH6 features the high mobility power, and rich functionality required. in
Pre-order
today's
is
video
live,
industry.
just so everybody
The
knows.
Lumix team's
Guys, go
goal
get
is
that
to
pre-order
provide
right now.
What's the
path
price
of
on it?
creativity in video production.
Let me bring it up.
while
Is there any
creating
price
a
at
new
all?
market for the industry.
I think it's
We'll do this
1500.
together with all creators seeking new power and video expression. Panasonic is proud to offer cameras with such high reliability that can be trusted by professional creatives everywhere. During the development of GH6, we've worked closely with
$21.97, $99.
Schwartz from Mystery
Oh,
Box.
US
21.
Let's hear
dollars.
his first impressions of this.
Oh, 6K. Just
So my
get
name
the
is
Black
Jacob
Magic
Schwartz.
6K.
I'm a filmmaker that's based here in Salt Lake City, Utah. I think the GH6 was super essential to this project, and it worked really.
I knew
well
this
for
was in
project
Utah.
because what
Okay.
we needed was a small camera that was very versatile and could work quickly.
Those are
Especially
keywords,
when
versatile.
We're dealing with COVID, where we're always still
That is
trying to
Bonneville
battle
stuff.
a lot of different variables and trying to battle a lot of different unforeseen circumstances. It was a quick and fast tool that allowed us to shoot quickly and efficiently and tell our story
Wow.
without having to
Can
have
you say
all
quick
of the
any more
overhead
times?
that we usually have with typical film productions. For the most part, we shot everything. Actually, for everything, we shot at a new 5.7 ProRes HQ format at 2398. We felt that was the best format that we could do. Again, we are huge fans of having our content future-proofed, as well as having the flexibility of changing stuff in post. I know that there's a lot of cinematographers out there that's like frame it for what it needs, and it is what it is. But
Yeah.
we are huge
That looks
advocates of limiting our
ridiculous
frame,
for
and
that
so
small of a
having the
camera.
5.7 resolution
Like, come on,
allows us
dude.
to
You
just
can
have
you
that
can hold that
flexibility
and
of saying,
walk
you know
backwards.
what?
It has
If we
7.5
have to
stops of
reframe
IBIS.
adjust that frame, push
Exactly.
in and
Why are they
realize
not
that it
Wait,
showing
you don't
that?
need a
is
card?
Why are they-
all, we have
Yeah.
the extra resolution to do that with. That was such a
You don't need
great,
like a
you know,
whatever
I'm
that
trying to make
is.
it look like a
of the
pocket
camera
camera.
that
Just
we
walk
really
backwards.
appreciate.
You'll be fine.
The great thing that
Yeah.
we loved the most about
Where's the
how
game
Lumix
pause?
GH6 camera and introduced ProRes into its new camera was
Why does this guy keep
ProRes
looking
is
off to
like
the side?
universal
I think
standard
there's a
codec for
gun.
most
There's a guy with a gun there. Like,
not having to
keep
deal
talking,
with
bro. Keep talking.
Man, this
cross
turned quick.
converting from different codecs that are more efficient on DIA cameras. Having ProRes built in has just been invaluable.
I wonder if the
Especially as it comes
BTS
to
was shot
post.
on
We
a
have a few scenes that are green
GH6
screen,
because there is some
and we also have a few
wobbliness in
scenes
there.
that are just gonna need
GH5
that
Mark
extra
II.
bit of bit depth.
Yeah.
We've grown accustomed to
BTS on G.
ProRes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We
they only
definitely
had
use
one
the dynamic
camera.
range boost on the new GH6, and especially with us shooting out in nature where we don't
You
have
are
as
right,
much
Sean.
control of the light, and where we're trying to do a lot of different balancing between our shadows and highlights.
What are they
Having
filming?
that extra dynamic range was super invaluable, especially out in the desert.
Yeah, I want to see the
We were super
footage
impressed
from
with
the
the IBIS.
camera,
I'm
not
excited
the
to-
BTS
as
of
we
you
got
holding
back
the
into
camera.
post room,
To the new Game
how
of Thrones
stable the
episode or
images
something.
were.
what it
Right.
looks like.
Yeah, this is Amazon.
The
Yeah.
GH6 was invaluable because it allowed us to take a story that could have been really complex and overbearing, and now allow us to shoot it in a very
What
short
story?
time frame, but also retain the image quality that we
Hope we
are
get to
used
see that.
with some of the bigger.
That's
camera
any
systems.
camera, bro. What are you talking
And
about?
so, especially now with the ProRes, and especially now with the new,
He's like
CF
talking about how
Express,
quick and efficient he
hard
is while
format,
he's using like a
it all kind of
real
worked
huge
beautifully into our
dolly
ecosystem
with
here at
lights
Mystery
and
Box and
drones
Paradox
and many
Post.
actors.
Taking the
No,
project
come on,
from
man.
conception all the way through.
Yeah, once
the-
you add all that stuff in, then
All right, thank you, Jacob. It's
basically
great to
everything
hear
else.
some of the new features are being appreciated on the new GH6.
Oh, sorry, we're not
The recommended
appreciating
retail
it enough,
price
are
for
we,
GH6 will be
Lumix? Sorry.
$21.99 USD and €21.99 Euro. And future GH6 performance enhancements will be delivered via firmware updates.
oh, there we
and
go.
we'll continue to update the
Oh,
camera features
USB
based on the
SSD
needs
direct
of our
recording.
customers.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's big.
Always
That's
That is
focus
big.
on
That's a
creating
good
cameras that
feature.
enable
That
real
is.
video expression.
Welcome
We
to the
know
club.
creators will love
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
GH6
You're only
and
like
the
4
new
years too late.
creative
About
possibilities
time.
this amazing new camera brings. Stand by for a live Q&A
These
session. with
cuts
Matt
are really
Fraser and Sean
jarring.
Here we go,
Robinson
live
Yeah.
Q&A.
from the Lumix team.
There we go. Finally, it's live.
All right, everybody. This is such an exciting announcement
What a setup.
from Panasonic
This
Lumix.
is
As
so
you
good.
all know, the GH6 is finally here, and we are now being joined by Matt Fraser to actually talk about it and address the questions
Matt
that all of
Fraser?
you may have in the chat. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Sean. I'm sure you have. Been
How
very
have we
busy
got a
today.
better live
I
stream
was
than
just,
they have?
lounging in
This
the
is
backyard.
crazy.
Nothing to worry
This
about.
is this has been how many
And they're
years
not
in the making
using
for so many people in the
GH5s or
chat.
GH6s for this.
You
That
know,
depth of
just
field
such
is
a crazy
way
amount of
too
time
crazy.
for how long we've been waiting.
They're
for
probably
this.
using a
Dude,
S5
I'm so
or
excited that we can actually talk
Oh, yeah,
about
true,
this
true.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes two of us. Obviously, we've been sitting on a lot of information. I'm sure people have questions, and
Well, it was leaked yesterday.
we got
so-
answers. So
Yeah.
let's get into it. Let's
Last
get
week.
into this project and let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, so to let everybody know that is tuning in
Thanks,
for
John.
the Q&A
I mean, I'm
part
using
of
a
this, if you
6K,
have
but
a
no.
question, and we're watching on the Lumix USA channel here, at least for the questions here. I think we are also watching over on the Panasonic Panasonic Lumix videos channel as well.
And you guys are watching on the
Tag
Frame Voyager
either
channel.
at Lumix Cameras
Ayo.
or Panasonic Lumix Video, depending on which page
Like and
you're
subscribe.
viewing this on,
Yeah,
so we can see it pop up here in the chat, and we can get to your questions. So yeah, let's kind of
It's really
while people
easy.
start-
It's really easy to read all the questions right now. They're flying by. There's only 2,000 people here. So
couple words of comment that I am going to put out there right now. If you spam the chat with the same question and the same word over and over again, you will be put in timeout.
Guys, who wants to
because it
spam the
starts
Lumix
to
chat?
massively just fill in.
They're
So
I'm watching it
all
right now, and I know
a couple
exactly
of
what
the
word
questions
they're
that have come
saying.
up so far. Obviously, everyone is asking about autofocus in the camera, so I think we do
Holy
have
crap,
to
the other
at
thing is
least
just moving.
talk a little bit about the autofocus, and then we're going to move on from that. We're not going to spend an hour talking about autofocus.
It's because it's not good.
You want to chime in,
why don't
Matt?
we just get this? Yeah, let's just get this out of the way. So
We
obviously,
don't have
now
one.
everybody sees it uses the
Not a good way to go.
contrast-based autofocus system. It's DFD
Boo.
based. I
Boo.
am well
Confirmed.
aware it's not the
Boo. Get
direction
out.
that people were hoping that we would go. So
Yeah, you
I
know
first
it.
urge you to take a look at the wealth of review videos that'll be coming out with the camera. Ultimately,
Boo. That you
they'll have to
paid
give you
for.
some
Paid
guidance as to whether or
reviews.
not there's
Paid
any
reviews.
improvement in the autofocus system or not. I want to make sure everybody understands why we went down the path that we did. So you have to remember that when we're
Here we go.
developing or working on a sensor
These
design,
excuses.
we're working on the information based on
Right.
an older camera. You know, we're working on this around the GH4's timeline when you're working on that new sensor. And so you're working on the concerns of that sensor at that point. So low light sensitivity, dynamic range, resolution, those are the things people were most concerned about. Obviously, we pay attention. We know people are looking for a PDAF solution. We've worked on improving the DFD autofocus system for a number of years. Ultimately, in order to give the picture quality improvements that this new sensor has to offer with its faster readout speed,
Liar.
with the dynamic range boost function, which I think people are going to be very impressed with the overall
No, we
image
wanted
quality of the
autofocus,
sensor.
dude.
It is a
camera was
substantial
fine.
improvement over the GH5, and realistically, it has more dynamic range than a GH5S. So
That's not
you
gonna
and I have
focus
been
for me, is
explaining
it?
to a lot of people that this is really sort of an homogenization of the GH5S concept and the GH5 concept in a single camera body. The low light sensitivity is clearly superior to the GH5.
It's going to be a
It
wave
is
leaving
very
just because of that
competitive to the
autofocus.
GH5S. And so
Right.
at the
Wave
end of the day,
leaving
when we were
Lumix.
working on the sensor design and
Yeah,
eventually
because
went to
Lumix is still
incorporate
really
it,
a hybrid
it just wasn't
system, right? Like
possible
it's
for us to
not
get
cinema camera. It's not like a black
modification to
magic. So
phase-based
you
No, it's
want
not.
autofocus.
Now, to be clear, that doesn't mean that we aren't investigating phase-based autofocus systems or time-of-flight autofocus systems, or maybe something really cool that none of us have ever heard of.
We
before.
want autofocus.
But
Oh,
at
a
this
friend
time,
just
with
friend
this
just texted me.
camera,
He just bought it.
this is
just
what we're gonna
pre-ordered
be able
it.
to offer.
Did
So
this
Wow.
conversation convince
hopefully
him?
that explains.
He must not have
I know
seen
it's
this
not what
conversation.
people wanted, but
This
please
is
take a look at the image.
a
and,
disastrous
more importantly,
conversation,
take a look
actually.
at the autofocus system tests that are out there.
Yeah. No, that's
So
I
let's
think
get that out of the
way. Yeah, as
Wow,
some
this
people
really
are
bothers
pointing out
them.
here, we just
Yeah,
got
it
rushed
does.
with all of
It
that
does.
one
They
word
must have.
comment. So yeah, now
They must have been on their
surprised
way
he
into like
didn't say-
Facebook groups.
We're gonna move on to some of the
Yeah,
other really
I'm surprised
cool
he
stuff,
didn't
'cause
say
there are so
real
many
cameras
questions
don't
here
need
that I
autofocus,
really
so
wanted
don't
to
worry.
get you guys
I'm
answers
surprised he
for.
didn't fill that
One of the ones that I
argument
just
Well,
saw here was
The
from
thing,
Hayden
one of the things they're
Mallon.
doing is
He's
totally
asking, are the GH5 batteries
like not ignoring the
with
you know
the
this
GH6?
creator
Obviously.
community
And,
like on YouTube here. I mean,
short
a lot of
answer,
people rely on
yes,
that
they are.
autofocus for in
You
this
can use
on
the
YouTube,
1118
like content
batteries
creators,
in the GH6.
and I feel like they're kind of
However,
isolating those
there
people.
will be some limitations
Yep.
to what that
Right,
battery is
exactly.
capable of powering in the GH6. Some of the different modes
he saying the
are
battery
going
is
to
already bad?
require the newer battery, the BLK22, to be able to actually operate them. And I think one of the big points too is that, you know, all of these questions, we're going to give you the best answers we can as of right now for this first hour that this camera is live and known in the public. But over the next month, we're going to be doing a ton of streams here too. So,
Okay.
we'll be answering a lot of these questions and showing
Welcome,
more in-depth
Caleb.
demonstrations
Welcome
than
to the
just
VMount
the
Club as
conversations
well.
here. But Matt,
Oh,
if there's
yeah.
anything you
That
want to add,
sounds like it,
jump
huh?
right in.
All right,
So let
I'm
me
like,
explain
my
a
phone's starting to
little bit
blow
deeper
up
on the
here, so I'm
battery.
like,
So it's going to use the
trying to keep
the
track
Model
with
22
multiple
battery
things
that'll
going
come
on.
with the camera, obviously.
That's why they showed it in that rig. It's like
technically
this
has
is
a
your
higher
life
voltage
now,
threshold, which means
Yeah,
lower
totally.
power lower
Welcome
current
to
going
the
to the camera, a lower
talking
thermal
4K life.
threshold. So
Yeah.
any recording modes that cause the camera
That's
to get
true.
hotter,
It's not
like
related.
4K 120,
Yeah, we haven't really seen any
5.7K
video yet.
60p,
It's
No,
kinda odd.
that's
those
Yeah.
aren't going to
yeah,
be
that's
available
totally
with
true.
the 19
Very
battery.
interesting.
So
I think
I jokingly say if you'd like
I
to
saw
turn a
some people
GH6 into
say
a
like
GH5,
Durable Dunn
use the
already has a video
GH5's
out and
battery,
stuff.
and that's about what you're going to get out of the camera. So keep in mind though, DR boost, dynamic range boost will still work on the old battery as well. So there's still a lot you can do with the old battery,
30-minute
but obviously you're
battery.
going to get the most out of the camera with the new one.
Yeah.
Fun.
So let's see here. A
That
couple
Canon
other
C70
questions
is
that
looking
came
really
in.
nice right now.
There were a lot of questions
Right?
about the actual memory card layout with this camera and how things are going to work together. I know that
That's a good question.
reading
We were asking
obviously
this
some of the
earlier.
chat questions here and some of the comments that we've seen in different locations online, there's some concerns about backup recording, relay recording, things that we've been doing in the GH line of camera for a long time. But as the simple answer, we can say most modes, as long as you're not having to use just the CF Express card because of the bit rate, you can still back up and relay record to both of those media devices.
Yeah, and let's I want to clarify something on this too, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding.
Oh no.
So
oh no,
ProRes,
this is not going well.
it eats a lot of data.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that. It's like over 1900 megabits per second.
Patronizing
That's got to go to the CF
patronizing us
Express
too
card.
much.
Yeah.
But we have all
ProRes
intra
that heavy?
codecs in the camera.
I feel like B-Ross.
that
we
will
have all
support up to,
intra codec in the
4K
camera.
60p, all intra at up to
No one
600
cares.
megabits per second. That
Which will
can
blow
go
your
to both the
computer
CF
up.
Express card and the B90 card at the same time. So you're going to have opportunity, like 5.7K will be able to go to both cards. There's an option for 5.7K at 300 megabits per second that can go to both cards as well. So
if you have a fast
just
enough
be
SD
aware
card,
that you
sure.
don't have to use ProRes, obviously. If you're a GH owner that is currently
Oh my
using our
God.
all intercodec,
This
you
is
know
a
that they do
dumpster
an
fire.
awesome job
This
as
is crazy.
Same with our IPB codecs. And so even things like 4K 120, you have 4K 120 options that will go to the SD card and the CF Express card at the same time. Just once we get to 800 megabit, when you see an 800 megabit codec, that's going to require CF Express card. And keep in mind that we have
800
announced that there'll
megabit.
be a firmware update to the camera. And one of the things we're going to support
that's
is the
pretty
external
hefty.
USB to SSD. So you'll be able to use an external media for recording as well.
Yes,
There's
please.
still a lot we don't yet know about what that can support. But
Wait,
at a
what?
minimum, you know you're going to have
so
external
the
media
update will
to be able
come
to
in
work with the product as well.
2025 is what
Yeah.
they're saying.
Yeah, and talking about that too,
But they don't know what it supports yet?
Coming on because we've gotten a lot
That's
of
what it
questions
sounds
about
like.
future firmware updates because
It's never good to hear a camera
as
company
you
saying
have
we don't know what it
often said, Matt,
supports
it wouldn't be a Lumix
Right?
launch if there wasn't firmware already planned for it. There will be support for things like RAW over HDMI coming in the future.
raw.
The SSD
What kind of RAW?
recording,
What kind of
over
RAW?
USB.
Gotta be raw.
Even more ProRes options in the camera. At launch, the camera is shipping with 5.7K ProRes 422 and HQ up to 5.7K 30p. That's what it ships at in 5.7K. Our firmware update that's going to be coming will supply DCI 4K, full HD options. And Matt, I think you have a little bit of insight as to the kind of the thought process behind that at launch.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think what people have to understand is that there's a lot of testing that has to happen whenever we
dude,
put new
stop
codecs
talking like
in.
this. Say it
It's
in a
lot of
nice
engineering
way.
time that has to go
Yeah.
into this.
You have to
So
talk
we
down
wanted
to
make
us
sure
like
we were
this.
providing the absolute highest quality image
We know,
from the
like,
camera that it was capable of achieving.
GH5 came out in
for ProRes RAW.
2017.
I'm sorry, ProRes. And then
You know, it was like
on top of that, as we go down the line, we'll be able to
Plenty
add
of
in
time.
like 4K, in a DCI format, and we'll also add full high definition. We have other things planned as well.
Right.
I think what's most interesting
It's
to
like
me
a
about
beta
the firmware
camera,
update
beta
is
test camera.
the
now.
reason why
Yeah, it
4K
kinda seems like it.
120
They're like video game
didn't
companies
make
now.
it
Do you
for
think they're trying to
launch, which
get into
it's
the
a-
certain
it's kind of a
market
funny
with this
story because
camera,
it
and
takes
it's just kind of
time
like a launching point?
to test these things.
I don't
I don't know
know.
because like the GH5 2 wasn't
we
out that
quickly
long
figured
ago,
out that
right?
are
Like a
currently no
year or
recorders
something,
that
maybe
support
year and a
Yeah.
half, two.
2.1
Last
and
summer,
4K 120
because that's
frames.
when they
Yeah,
So it
first
didn't make any
teased
sense
the
for us to make the
GH6, but then they're
investment
like,
in
and we give you
having that
the
ready when the only thing you
GH5
can do
Mark
is hook it up to
II,
your television or your
you know?
monitor
Yeah.
and kind of
And
take selfies of yourself
then
on
there
the
was like,
screen at
you know, like
120
an
frames per
Instagram post
second.
about a
So
GH6, but it never
that's
was
one of the
like,
reasons why
when
that's
is
not
it
going to be the
coming?
camera
All
yet.
that
It just
stuff, you
didn't
know,
make
like
sense to put the time into it until there's something that can record it. That's how
Doesn't the
forward-looking the
GoPro do
camera really is.
5.3 at 60?
But then you also look at the fact that
Right.
Atomos is using a non-standardized 120 4K for RAW, and so we are now working on making sure we can do 4K 120 over HDMI, so people can record the raw output to an Atomos Ninja 5 Plus, which again we're working to make that happen. So just be aware that we have a lot planned for this camera. If anybody remembers the history of the GH5, you know there's an awful lot of stuff running in the back of our heads that Sean and I can't even talk about right now about
Yeah.
what we have planned for additions in the future.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's see. I'm going to pull up another question here. It's from Sam Goose. Wants to know release date, raw
Sam-
output, which
Sam
we just
Goose.
addressed, and then the photography side of this camera, something that I am really excited about with the GH6.
I thought this was a video
but start
camera.
with release date.
Ooh.
Release date is going
That's
to
where I
be
shut
end
down
of
here.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah, March next month.
Right.
Man,
it's
these
a
dates
month
are
that starts
just
with an
so
M.
yeah.
You got like M months. You got 2 chops.
Did you just
got 2
swear
chops
at
out of
it?
Sean,
What-
so.
Yeah, so the camera will be shipping by next month, and I think probably one of the coolest things, Matt, is
Next
a lot
month?
of the different regions that you can be buying this camera in all have some sort of promotion running for the
Oh, I thought you were
pre-orders
gonna say
at
chip
the
shortage
start
then.
of the
Yeah.
camera
Me
release.
too.
So if you take a look at least here in the United States is the only one that I can speak of, at least because we're here in the United States. In the United States, when you pre-order the GH6, you're getting a free CF
it's already
Express
out,
Type
eh?
B card with the camera, so
Oh.
you're not having to go spend
There you go.
$200 to go get a CF Express card at the time that you buy the camera.
That's nice of them.
So
Yeah,
that's
that is
what
nice.
I
Oh, yeah,
know, at least
B&H
in the
has that right
US.
now.
Some other regions are also doing that promotion. Some other regions are doing maybe some different like
Yeah, I feel
cashback
like at
promotions,
this point,
stuff like that. So
Why?
take a look
I feel
at
like
your
you could get
local
all the stuff they're
store,
talking about in
wherever
a
you're
YouTuber's
purchasing your
video that
camera
already has
equipment
had this
from.
camera for
Double
months
check, see what
and are
camera
releasing
Yeah.
their
launches they've
videos.
got
So I
going
don't.
on,
Yeah.
They haven't really
because
even
there's
added
definitely
anything of
something
value in
going
this.
on in the different regions across
Literally,
the
like
globe.
I'm just
So,
clicking on Andy AX's
knowing
review,
that
and I've
CF
seen more of the
Express is
camera
a
and the
Right.
body and the
for a
features than
number
these
of
guys have
people out
talked
there.
about for the last
It-
30 minutes.
It's a
Yeah,
really
I'm like
big
really surprised they
thing
haven't
to
put
make
any
sure that,
like
so you can
actual
get the most out of the
like a
camera when you pick it
video
up.
shot
You're
with
gonna have a
Yeah.
card that can take
you know,
advantage of every single
like a
aspect
little
of what
Something.
short or
GH6 is
something.
offering you. So really,
I mean,
really
slot one
solid.
is CF Express, slot
Um,
two is
Well,
the
and keep in mind that
SDXC2.
we obviously know our future roadmaps, so we're making sure we're giving away a card that is ready not just for what the camera can do today, but what we have.
Oh, it's got a
planned in the future
full-size
for the
HDMI
product. So
port on it. Wait, we have full-size
we're not
HDMI.
gonna,
Oh, yeah.
sell you
full
with a card
And
size.
then
that, oh, we had something really
SSD
cool,
has
you'll be
an
able to use it anymore.
SS,
So
Exactly.
trust me, it's
like a
plenty
little
fast
logo
enough
next to
for
it.
anything we're doing in the future.
Yeah. And then also to the last part of the question from Sam was about the photography options. Obviously we're
There
talking
seems to
so
be a
much about the
dedicated
video
like
side of this
mic or
camera,
its
and
audio button.
Right.
I don't
on the
think
top
any of
now.
us can deny the GH6 is going
I
to
think
be
I think they put a
loved,
record button on the
and
front.
adopted by a vast majority
Yeah.
of
You'd be able to
filmmakers
customize
and
It's
any
like
of those
video
buttons
content
though
creators.
to make it
But
whatever. Like if you want to
we
make an
get
audio
so many
button,
people
definitely
that
be
have
able to do
questions
that. But
about what about photography with Lumix?
And I guess what function 5 was on our camera, the live
logic here with
viewfinder button is now
Yep.
moved to the side of the viewfinder as
I
well.
can tell you hands down.
Interesting.
See,
So
how am I
um,
learning more from this than
Yeah.
this stream? God, wow.
it's
Yeah.
so bad. Yeah, they didn't even like show the camera that much. So
No.
Johnny
And I
Johnny
have
Hercombe
access to
asked a
every
question
single one of our
about is this
cameras.
are we roasting this
The
because
full
it's a
frame
letdown to
cameras, the
everyone?
S series, I
Caleb,
love
I think
them
you
to
could
death.
best
I
answer this. Is this a
have
letdown kind of to you?
converted to 1R because I want to
um,
red.
Or is it not
I've
really
got,
letdown, but it's just
I
kind of
don't-
meh?
I know Matt, you and
Yeah,
I
I don't-
about this a lot.
I don't think it's really a
Yes, cameras are
letdown. It's just
awesome
kind of
photography when you want that full frame
I
look,
don't
when you're
know.
trying to go
It's
for
not
that
like
particular
super
style, but
exciting. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
Like
think it's
as
his
far
poor
as this
presentation
new
skills
I
sensor
think-
from Panasonic.
I think
Like,
that's
what are you
part
doing?
of it as well. I mean, you're not going to get like Apple release type presentation, but like why have you not shown us any footage? Like why have you not
all the way
really
up to
showing
the
us
range,
like
and
some really
the amount of
good
detail that this
shots
sensor retains, and
of
probably the
the
best part,
camera. Like
there's
I
an
don't know.
actual sensor
Yeah.
resolution
Yeah.
increase.
I don't know. I don't really
We're
think the
up to
camera is a
25 megapixels. You're
letdown
not stuck with 2
necessarily,
megapixels
but
anymore. And alongside that,
It
you're
just
but
feels like
maybe
they
it's
really
more the
really
presentation.
fast.
Yeah, I think
Burst
you were
rates.
expecting
It
more
must be.
because they've just
Getting
been
up to
talking about it for
75
so like
frames per
it was
second.
released
Yeah.
a while
With the
ago. You
buffer
were
that is
anticipating
overlaid, it's
it.
about 200
It's
shots
kind of
in the buffer.
it's I don't know.
So you're not going to only get less
Like
than
I'm
a
looking at
second to
Andy's
shoot
video
your
and the
camera.
AXs, and the 4K 120 does look very, very nice. He's using a Sigma 1835, but
More
it
than
looks
200 images
very,
is
very
what-
nice. It's
more
very
than 200
clean.
images on Safe Express
Yes,
are.
that would be
So
my
These
advice.
guys
Got a great
are not
average, right?
showing anything
This
at
is
all.
probably a good time to
Yeah.
talk about DR boost because
Exactly.
my opinion is that the biggest gain for a micro four thirds shooter, well, going up 20% resolution from 20 megapixels to 25 is a big increase. The dynamic range boost feature, I think, is going to be the part that really shocks some people at
I'm gonna
the
bring up
image
that video
quality.
too.
So I want to make sure everybody understands that
it's
DR boost is
worth
not
it.
just a video feature; it is a
It
photographic
does seem
feature as well.
like
It
there's
is
still some
inherent
of that
within the
sensor
sensor
wobble
design.
though
So
in the
just a
IBIS,
very
so
quick
that's still
explanation of how this
disappointing.
works. We capture a single frame.
I don't know if
of
you ever
image
use like an
information,
8
and
mil
it's sent into
or
2
the
gain stages.
crazy
You're gonna
wide
have
zoom that they have, but
what we call a
trying to
high gain
any walking
stage,
or movement
which
with that
will
is just like
give us really clean
Right.
shadows, but
everything
it's
is just
gonna clip
disgusting.
the highlights very
Hmm.
quickly. So you're
Jacob All
gaining
Trades
up
brings
that
up a good
image
point
for
with what's the
clean
deal with products
shadows.
being released with
And then
mediocre
we take
features and a
a low
promise of
gain
better
stage,
things down
which
the
has
road with
lots of
firmware. It's
dynamic
almost kind of like
range.
video
Yeah.
games at this point.
More
Yeah.
than a stop
Exactly.
more I mean, it's a
Exactly.
one stop more
A
dynamic range
DLC.
than any Micro Four Thirds camera we've ever introduced. So you get better highlight information, but that would create noisy shadows. And so what we effectively do is we take the clean shadows from the high gain stage and we inject them into the noisy shadows of the low gain, and that creates a very high dynamic
Oh,
range image,
okay.
but it has very clean shadows.
Oh
And
yeah, some of
so
those shots
that's
do
the
look
part
really
that I'm really
nice.
excited about is how
Yeah.
clean these
Like
files
4K
look
120
when you process them.
beautiful.
And Sean and I have been working within the
Yeah, I wish
Safety
they'd
Fix
show
app,
us some
which
like
is the application that
I
you
wish
can
they'd like
use
show
right now
footage
for
on this. It can't be
processing
that
raw
hard to have
files.
footage sourced
We're
for a
not
live
just
stream
looking
like
at
this.
the
Yeah,
good
just
thing
like
it
put
is, which
footage
has
over top of
huge
this, you know what I mean?
improvements in terms of
Like,
image
yeah,
reduction
I mean,
as well.
honestly, they should have had
We're
questions that they were
seeing
going to
an
answer off the bat
incredibly clean
anyways.
image.
So
Things
Yeah.
we've never seen in a Micro Four
Like they should be
Thirds camera.
showing
I
pictures
think it
with
would
the
be
older
safe to
cameras and
assume
then
that
the
this
new
might
pictures with the
be one of the
GH6
best
and then just
sensors
compare them.
available
Like
in crop
like it's not.
how
I mean,
much is this
cameras. And
extra
so
5 megapixel
I
worth?
think
You
people
know,
are going to
what's
be
the
blown
difference?
away by that.
well, especially since they're trying to bill
Keep
this
in
as a
mind, there's
video
some
camera. It's
limitations.
like
This only
show
works
some
up to
video.
60
I
Yeah.
frames per
mean,
second, and that's in any
That
video mode.
yeah,
So
that
it doesn't
4K
matter if it's
120
5.7K,
looks really
4K,
good though.
1080p,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
yeah, I'm
It's
excited.
From-
I
60
plan
frames to
to at
60
least
frames. But this is also the
rent
case
this camera
for,
out at some point and test it
photography.
out
So
against the
you're
Black
gonna
Magic
see we have
cameras.
these two
So it'll be
burst modes.
interesting
We
to
Yeah.
have
kind
a
of see
60 frame burst, and we have a
how it
75
ends up.
frame burst. And a lot of you are probably going, why would Panasonic do this? There's like a 15 frame difference, and the buffer is basically the same. Why were you guys doing this? And it's pretty simple. 60 frames
And it
per
seems like
second
they're having to
is the
add
limit
warp
for
stabilizer
DR
on
boost,
top, so
dynamic
trying to
range
fix
boost.
the IBIS problems.
75
Like
frames per
it's not
second is the
it's not
throughput
it's
of
still
the
you still
engine
get that
with all the other
That
things
little
we're
bit of
doing.
wobble.
even when walking. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not
We
great.
can
But
give
they
you
are
a
using a
massive
Sigma though,
difference
so
in
it's not
price
like
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
the dual
That's gonna be
IBIS
without the
working
DR
or
boost.
dual
But even
IBIS
with
So
working.
that
even
60 frames is
without
what
the
gets you
dual
the DR
IBIS,
boost
it
functionally.
would
So
be
for
like I think it's like
photographers, this
7,
is, I think, one of the biggest returns
Yeah,
on
exactly.
this
6.5
camera
or
is
7,
that
which is
extra
still. I
dynamic
mean,
range and those cleaner
the
shadows.
GH5
Obviously,
has
video
5
shooters will
steps. The
appreciate
GH5
that
Mark
as
II has
well,
6.5,
because
and now this
we're
has like
applying a
7,
3D noise
7.5
reduction
dual.
algorithm, which means we
So
get
Yep.
what's called temporal noise reduction. We can compare the first
Stefan,
frame and the
What was the
third
price
frame
again?
to the second
Stefan,
frame that we're
2199, right?
and we're looking
think so.
for
yeah,
those frame
2197
that's
with
moving,
a
and that
CFast
allows us the
card.
ability to cancel it out and clean up
Which
the
I mean,
image. And so
that's
you
not
get
That's
bad.
kind of nice to
really
get a
clean
card,
video
but if
images
you
from
don't
this
need a
camera,
card,
especially in the DR
do you get like a discount?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, I need
Is
a
the
card
actual
because I've
camera
never shot with a
$1,500?
CFast. So.
technology.
Right,
Actually,
yeah,
when
exactly.
we first started getting the
But that SSD,
you
that
know,
would be
the materials
huge
so we
getting
could
that.
do trainings and stuff like
Yeah,
that to get like,
absolutely.
even our own team up to speed on this.
Bet small rig is like
it's
SSD
crazy
mounts for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
how much stuff
totally.
our engineers have packed
Totally.
into this, and I can tell you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
for what
pre-order
it's
it,
worth.
see what it's
I mean,
like.
as everyone knows, this is a Lumix.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're both employees.
May as well,
of
right? I mean, it
Lumix
seems
here
like
in
it's
the
decent
US,
enough, but
But both
you
of
really
us
got to
are
get your hands on it
passionate
at this point. There's
photographers
just
and
like,
videographers outside
Yeah,
of this
it's an
job,
improvement
and
for sure.
This
Yeah.
has been
It
one
could
of
have been
the
better.
most fun cameras I've
And that's the main
Yeah.
point.
legitimately been able to shoot with. You know, there's a reason why the 3 lenses I have tattooed on me are
Oh, there's
Micro Four Thirds
comparisons to
lenses.
the
Part of it's 'cause
Pocket
we didn't have
6K
the S
on
series out at the time.
on that video too, around
But
12,
a lot
12
of it's
to
that
11
you know, I
minutes.
get to go back to using my Nocticron. I get to use
Interesting.
the 42.5 with it and actually shoot with a camera that
GH6
up until
thumbnails, that's
recently,
funny.
you know,
Oh.
I loved shooting on the G9 when I would go back to my Micro Four Thirds cameras. this camera feels like the perfect mix of the G9 ergonomic wise and into the full,
Interesting.
GH series with all the video features. I don't have to worry about which camera I want to take anymore. It is such an amazing stills camera. And probably the coolest thing, which we didn't really talk about.
Oh my gosh, it's the camera.
Yeah.
It has the S1H style rear screen on
Like
it.
an
Come on,
hour
turn it
into the-
on.
Flip
Plug it
it on,
in.
have
Yeah,
tilt-
HDMI.
show us the
All of
camera,
you that love tilt
please.
screens, you've got a tilt screen. Everyone that
Shows
likes
how it
vari
live
angle
streams.
screens, you got a very angle screen. And then now
Ooh.
it doesn't actually get in the way of any of the ports on the side. It's just so much fun to
That
use.
is true.
I'm
That
so
that was
excited.
an annoyance with
And I
this
noticed
one.
some
You
venting
can't
on the side
rotate
of
it
it. I'm sure
with the
that's
Yeah,
created
Yes.
with the
probably a little bit
HDMI
of
in.
controversy as well. So,
Absolutely.
Yes,
I've run into
there's
that so many times.
there's vents on
Yeah,
the
you
side.
have to keep going.
There's a fan internally, and so I know that there's some questions about weather resistance when it comes to the fan. So I think it's important to understand.
All right.
that
Well, I
what
might
we
need to jump off
formed
because I'm
is
going to go
a
jump on my own stream
plenum.
over here.
It's a-
So
Sweet.
It's
Yeah,
a
go ahead and
tube,
do it. Thanks
basically,
again,
where the
Caleb,
fan
for coming
resides,
on.
and there's
Definitely
Yeah,
have you on the
absolutely.
channel here
cooling
again
heat.
at some point soon. Maybe
And the
we
heat
yeah,
can.
thanks so
coming
much for
out.
having me.
The fan is
Yeah.
cooling the
Hope to
sensor.
catch
All right.
you
Well,
the fan is
thank you.
cooling
enjoy the rest of the
engines,
Q&A
Yeah.
that
and
they
the fan
have going
is
on. It
cooling
sounds
the
like.
We will. We
express card.
might turn out here
The
soon.
chassis of the fan is actually cooling
All right.
the
Thanks, guys.
sensor.
Cool.
So
Yep.
there's
See
a
ya.
separate
Bye.
passive cooling for
Bye.
sensor. It's active cooling for engine and CF express card. That whole case where your camera's guts live is completely sealed away from the fan. So there's no way water, unless if you submerge the thing, that would be a problem. But if you got rain, snow, things like that, that are
Ooh, okay, so
not
it can be in the
ridiculous
rain.
downpours,
That's good.
You shouldn't have any
Is that
issues.
what IP55?
Also keep in mind the
or
LCD
something?
screen is a sealed system.
But I
as
mean,
well.
OM1
So
already
it's
did
just the
that.
plenum.
I mean,
And then I
Right,
realize there's
yeah.
some
I mean, they're
questions
they
about
already
ceilings.
IP whatever.
reliability and durability. In truth, the S1H has a fan-based cooling system. The box cameras, both the BGH1 and the BS1H,
Yeah,
have
show us
fan-based
it,
cooling
dude.
systems.
Come on.
Do you
It's,
think they're-
These are coreless motor designs, so they don't have they don't have like an iron core that has copper wiring wrapped around it. It's effectively a magnet field that's floating and spinning. It's like a maglev train.
This is kind of a
for
letdown, a little bit
fan.
of a
That's
stream.
effectively what's in there. So it is a weatherproofed device as well. So you're effectively
think,
building a camera system.
they're going to be some
that
internal meetings
is
about this
completely weather
launch.
sealed, and then you're
Like,
putting
what
the
did we
fan back
do?
of it in order
Whose
to get that
idea was
heat
it to
out
do it
of
like
the
this?
out of the engine,
It's
and out of
ridiculous.
the CF Express card.
Will
So
this finally take
I
us to
wouldn't worry
space?
too much about the reliability of the fan system in the camera. Frankly, if there's the best possible chance for water incursion in any camera is where the lens meets the mount. And so gasketing and other seals that are on that lens are
Yep,
vital
John.
to keep
John
it
is good.
safe. That's a big hole inside your camera. So that should be your bigger concern.
Small amount.
And every camera has the same kind of mount structure.
Yep,
with
Jacob
the
all trades, you
bayonets.
are, yep.
So don't
Yeah.
worry about the fan. That's the least
move back
likely
to this,
area
yes.
you're going to get water incursion or problems.
Yeah. So I want to have a couple of comments here to respond to a couple of the comments that had been
Sure.
coming in here. So, obviously, as we said, cooling fan. One of the things. that
Okay,
I think a lot
DSLR.
of people
Thanks,
made
Film 21.
this
DSLR
week
Shooter
here
just
with
released
this
his review on it, so you should go
conversation
check
is
that out.
We've had a camera on the market.
Diegetic Audio says, "I'm
that
not impressed." Yeah,
supports
me
and
neither. Like,
utilizes
why
Yeah.
even have the
system
live stream?
for,
Just release like your top
an active cooling
YouTubers
system. It's the S1H.
stream
Yeah.
that you've got,
And that
right? I
camera-
mean,
yeah, since 2019.
Exactly.
So this
Oh,
isn't
yeah,
new.
he's got
This
some
is
really
new
nice shots of the
technology
body,
for
like
us to be
straight out of the
developing.
gate. It's
Its reliability isn't in
I
question.
wonder if we can pull those up.
booster
I
on
think
it.
if you are concerned about
All
the
right, guys.
reliability,
If you guys want to finish this
the
live
S1H,
stream, go ahead, go over.
that
I don't
camera's
really
been
feel like we're
out
getting anything
almost
extra valuable out of this.
it
It just
almost
seems like a
2
bunch
years
of,
at this
I
point.
don't know.
And
So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out of
the
this live
camera
stream,
is-
but you can go over to Lumix GH6s or Lumix. Yeah, now we're back. So
We're back.
let me see. Let's see if we can pull up some footage. Do you have any? I think you can share your
Oh.
screen.
I'd go over to Caleb Pike's one because
Okay.
he actually is nice side by side, and you can see how big it is compared to GH5. Like, it's pretty chunky. It's a lot more. Wouldn't
Oh,
say
here it is.
boxy, but it's a lot more angular. I would say.
It did not take them long to get
Oh.
into the.
They have a slightly redesigned menu system. Font is smaller or more.
See if they have any footage here. Let's see.
Still 1,000 pages though.
Yeah, I would check out DSLR Video Shooters has a great video on it. So sorry guys, obviously GH6 Lumix just like I don't know what that was. I mean, at least I know Black Magic doesn't show a ton of their footage, but at least it's like a surprise. I mean, this
we
was
get Grant Petty, so
true. I
we
mean,
got
who
our
doesn't
Lord
like
and
Grant
Savior
Petty?
Grant Petty.
So I guess let's talk about this. What do you think some of the highlights are from this? Obviously, I think starting right off the bat, would you buy this camera at this point? Or are you kind of
If-
waiting to see what comes out of it? You want to look at a couple more reviews because this was not a very good sell, I don't think.
I would say for someone, if I was in my position and I didn't have my Blackmagic cameras, and I mean, we have 2 of these.
Yeah.
Primarily, we actually have 3. We always wanted 4K 120, and if you are heavily invested in like Panasonic or MFT systems, and you have a bunch of lenses and you're used to how they work, and you like the look and the feel that comes out of this camera, because they do have a look. And you want to upgrade them, I would say that this is a good camera to get, right? Because you're finally getting this 4K 120. We're catching up finally with Sony and everything.
5.7K at 60p.
Yeah, you get the crazy resolution formats if you want to shoot that way. But like most people say, I don't need it. 4K is enough. Some people say HD is enough, right? I get some criticism sometimes, some people saying 6K, I don't need you to shoot in 6K, 4K or HD is enough, right? So, and eventually, even if you shoot in 5.7K, you're probably gonna have to downsize it anyway to at least 4K for upload or delivery anyway. So I would say, yeah, it's good, but they really dropped the ball on some major features that people have been asking for literally maybe 5 or 6 years, which is better autofocus. And the way that he, I can't even think of the English word anymore. But like the way he was talking to us, like, yeah, well, we know that everyone wanted it, but it's like hard or something. Or like, we put more effort into this dynamic range thing. The dynamic range was never a problem because we're still putting out Rec 709 at the end of the day. Or even it has HLG modes too. So
yeah,
dynamic range I don't think was ever a problem with these cameras ever. Yeah, we have like RAW and we have all these other cameras, but I would say the majority of people don't really know how to capitalize on that dynamic range anyway.
Yeah.
So who cares, right? We wanted better autofocus. And from Andy AX's video, which I skipped through, they compare it to a Sony A1. Yeah, the focus is
not. Yeah,
it's pretty much the same as this. It's 50-50. It's a mixed bag. You can't rely on it.
So why even that's weird that you even like try to feature it. I mean, right? I mean, if it's that bad, you can have it as a feature, I guess. But if it's like it's not usable, maybe go into it like, hey, we're just making a cinema camera, or we're just trying to make a video camera and a photography camera. It's got this autofocus thing. Don't expect it to be good, but here's all these extra video features. Like, it's kind of weird. But even for photography, would it be the same thing? You still need the autofocus, right?
You still need it. Yeah, you still need it. Yeah, for photography, especially like if I don't know if you ever tried to like manually focus pictures, like especially on this thing where the focus throw is literally like that. It's like not a lot, and it will just wildly go out of focus. So I'm really disappointed actually, like that they haven't addressed the autofocus problem. That was like the worst thing about these cameras.
Yeah,
battery life was pretty damn incredible. Having lots of the other features like the Mosin Ibis especially was great, and they said they've improved it, but I still see that wobble in the, that telltale wobble in the footage.
And that's just weird. That's weird for a camera release like this. I mean, you can expect no autofocus in a Blackmagic camera, right? It's a cinema camera. Like typically, even if you had autofocus, not everyone's going to be really using it. I mean, you will, right? Like there's no problem with having it in it. It's like some people but you don't expect it in it because it's made for video. But this camera's trying to like compete with Sony mirrorless cameras. It's trying to compete with I don't know, Canon R5 cameras that are just beyond like what's the sell in this that you get that you don't get in any other mirrorless camera that's on the market right now? That also probably has a better don't get me wrong, I love MFT system lenses. I love the flexibility it gives you, but what's the sell with this exactly? Like I know the new higher resolution, they have that new Venus engine, which Petapixel says is nearly twice as powerful as its predecessor and gives natural noise texture. I don't know. Like, what does that mean? Like every time, you hear that.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's just like proprietary words,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got decent ISO. It's got ISO 50 through 12,800 for video. I mean, that's
Pretty sure we
fine.
already had that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess again, the bad autofocus, the video, I guess the video is where they focused everything, but even like what they say. So 12 plus, what are my notes? 12 plus stops of dynamic range before the boost and 13 plus dynamic range in the boost mode. But we know that like people tell us, I mean, what do they say? Like the Sony mirrorless cameras have like 15 stop of dynamic range or something. They always tell us, and it's not. So
yeah.
It's
so
just
it's really
interesting.
8. It's 8 stops of dynamic range.
Yeah, I mean, it's so bad.
And the thing is, I found it really interesting that he was talking about battery life too. It's like, oh yeah, if you use this the old battery, you can still kind of use this feature, but maybe not. Like, does this enhanced mode really ramp up the battery draw? Like, that's pretty incredible. Because I think we were talking before about doing a video about testing different camera modes and how it affects the battery life.
Yep.
So I'm sure there's gonna be lots of clickbait videos like get the most out of your battery.
And
by,
they were
like, turning
being
off
real
certain
cagey with
modes.
that battery answer. Like, oh well, just the modes. We don't know what the battery life is depending on the mode, but it's good. So.
Oh, it includes body on. Okay, there's no formatting in this thing.
Yeah,
Okay, body
Dicadic-
only 2197.
Yeah, Dicadic Audio
12
just
to
messaged us and said that B&H just hit his inbox with the body only at 2197 with a 1260 millimeter lens. It's 2797, which yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I guess there may be people who aren't in the system who may be attracted to this now because it is kind of is it one of the cheapest cameras with 4K 120? I would say that with IBIS and stuff, it's a good vlogging camera, I guess.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to spend like $5,000 on a Sony.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, even would you consider this better than just like if you're a vlogger, would you get an like an A6500 series or A6600?
I hate that. I don't like that series of Sonys.
You don't like that series?
Maybe I'm biased from like the 5600 days or whatever it was, but the
Yeah.
battery life is just terrible, and just the form factor of it, I just don't like. So
yeah, it's
personally for me anyway.
Yeah, so I guess you got video quality on it, right? But they're
Yeah.
not really even making a play because then they're like, oh, photography too, because that's what we really want. But
Yeah,
it's just kind of like, oh man, it was interesting to see what they were going to come up with. But because I was fascinated to see like, can you come up with some better autofocus technology for MFT systems because it's notoriously bad autofocus because of the sensor size.
Right.
But
right.
no,
They
not
could at
really.
least said that instead of making some weird like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're
Well,
focusing on other areas.
They just danced
You
around
had
that to make it sound
6
good.
years.
Yeah.
You had 6 years to do this, man. So disappointing. But on the other hand, it does have some other stuff which people wanted. 4K 120.
Yep. Don't throw any rocks, Nikon shooter here. Honestly, your Nikon Z9 was way more impressive than this GH6, in my opinion. I mean, at least it had some like groundbreaking technology with the new sensor system or the way it captures images or whatever. Near instantaneous. But this was just kind of like, eh. So, Sean Lewis says, we're not throwing rocks, we're throwing GH6s. Look, I'm going to reserve judgment. I know I'm being negative pretty much with this, but I think I want to test this. You can expect to see a couple different GH6 topics, I think, on Frame Voyager's channel. We are going to be talking, looking at the cage system because Small Rig sent me a cage system, and I don't even have the camera yet. So
will you ever have the camera is a good question. If they release it a month later,
yeah, we might be doing a GH6 cage giveaway.
Please take it, please.
AP Studio says, yeah, DSLR video shooter seemed pleased. I'm sure he did.
I mean, but he is historically nearly always pleased
with every camera, so he's pretty like. Yeah.
I think Caleb's a very optimistic guy. I want to hear like a gelled undone one. He's a bit more critical about things. If things aren't good, he's like, nah, this isn't good and this is why.
Yeah.
But Caleb, I think he's always into the kind of like more wacky kind of stuff too. Like he buys like 15-year-old cameras and like, this is why you should buy this for $1,500. And it's like, yeah, but it's not that great though. You know, I mean, he's great for eBay. He's great for resellers because whatever product he reviews, this, you know, they'll disappear or the price will like quadruple. So
yeah,
looking at his video, he's done some good tests, it seems. But yeah,
it just doesn't seem like they've done anything extra to it. I mean, I guess they're doing the B-raw or like some kind of raw. It's probably going to be B-raw, external recording, but it's. I mean, it's from what else is being released out in the market, and if you were going to spend money on a camera, I wouldn't look here first unless you're already built into like this. Feels like if you're already in Lumix system, sure, right? But I don't see this pulling any people over from a different camera company. Like it's not going to pull Blackmagic users, which honestly Blackmagic users really wouldn't get pulled from this anyways. But like it's not going to pull your Nikons, Sony, or Canon camera users over to this.
Right.
I just don't. Yeah. Let me see.
looking
Sean
through
Bolt
his
said he
thing.
said it's the best camera under $2,500, and he didn't mention the 6K Pro. Can't you get the A7 III for $2,500 at this point? Like,
I mean, maybe is it actually that cheap now?
It probably is, right?
A7 III price. Why won't it show me a price quickly? B&H. Oh, it's under $2,000. It's
I mean, it doesn't
1998.
It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but like it has way better autofocus if you need. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true. Slightly smaller sensor in megapixel size, but only a tiny bit.
Sean Lewis says small rig is on point. They must run on caffeine. They do. They are up all hours of the day emailing me about stuff. So love me some small rig. I won't even, you know how some people hide the fact that they love the companies they get from Stuff and Review. I will not hide my love for small rig. Love their stuff. They are sending me their new lights to test out. So it's going to be fun.
I'm super interested in those in terms of like price and if they come with apps and things like that, because I think that's my new standard now. It's like
apps.
Yeah, okay, we have Godox or Godox lights, and they're getting a little bit more powerful now. But like without apps and stuff, it's just like, nah, I'm not interested in buying them anymore. I'm too in depth with aperture. But yeah, small rig for cages and everything. All of my gear, including the stuff I got for the GH5 a long time ago, was all small rig. So just I hate tilter.
AP Studios says I'm going to throw all the influencers' names in a hat to choose whose link I will use to buy this camera.
Oh. maybe not.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, I'm trying to look through the specs so like I can, because we're gonna turn this into a podcast after the fact. But I'm trying for listeners. There wasn't much made of anything in this. They've got anamorphic D-squeeze display, which is great. It uses the whole sensor for that. It doesn't have anything. It does 420 by 420 10-bit 5.8K 30p video or and 10-bit 5.7 at 60p. So I guess it's increased its recording capabilities, but again, they did not make you think anything. The fact that their DFD autofocus would be any better on this camera. There's I don't know. I'm trying to look for like that signature thing that you feel like a lot of camera companies, they just have like, you're just waiting. Like full disclosure, and I'm sorry AP Studios for having to hear this, but I did not expect Nikon to make a comeback with the Z9 until that new sensor. That new sensor, I was like, okay, at least they came to the table with something that didn't, everyone else didn't have. So,
right, yeah.
I'm not trying to be negative. I love all cameras.
It's hard. It's hard not to be in a way.
Yeah, I would caution users who are really wanting to do this, unless you already have the Lumix system. Maybe buy it. I wouldn't buy it. I would look at Sony, Canon, Nikon. Well, maybe not Nikon yet. Nikon's still pretty expensive until they roll out. Really, the Nikon Z9 was not meant to sell a lot. It was meant to be used on a lot of other cameras, but I wouldn't. Yeah.
You're not going to be welcome on that podcast anymore.
I know.
You're going to be blacklisted.
I mean,
the
unless you're
dynamic
already-
range boost thing actually looks cool
No.
on Caleb's video at 7 minutes 45. The differences between like the sky is pretty much just gray, and then with it on, you actually can see some of the cloud detail. So
Yeah.
that's kind of nice. But it kind of seems like the normal mode is broken, that you don't see all that data.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, really? Is that what it's meant to? That's what it looks like normally, and I have to. Everyone's going to be. You have to have it on all the time.
Which they've said
that's-
that using that's going to drain the battery fast, or they alluded to the fact that you use those, which means welcome to the world of V-mount batteries. So I mean, if you're already having to get all this extra attachments, like they showed you that you need the cage and stuff and system that they were showing you that you need,
Yeah.
and you're wanting to do video and you don't need autofocus because their autofocus is probably not that good to use anyways, just come over to Blackmagic. Come over to Blackmagic.
Yeah.
I'm not bought out by
be honest.
Blackmagic at all, so you know.
Absolutely. I mean, we wish.
Oh.
We wish.
Come on, Grant.
Yeah,
Petty.
I guess. Yeah. I guess it's
Sorry.
hard, right? Before, let's say 5 years ago, right? With these
Yeah.
cameras, this was always like a thing I'd recommend people. I'd be like, oh, if you want like 4K 60, IBIS, flippy screen, it's quite. I mean, it's not amazingly user friendly, but it's good enough for people who can pick up and start using. Then you could get this camera, and it was pretty cheap and everything. And you know, it's not huge, it's not particularly heavy. This body actually is bigger now. So I would still say it could fit into the category because I find, I mean, I love the Blackmagic cameras, right? Obviously, I have 4 of them now. So, but I think it would be difficult to recommend this to someone who isn't willing to put the time in to learn how to use it. Where I feel with these kind of cameras, you could just slip it over to the auto mode.
Yeah.
And people will be happy with what comes out of it straight away, even if the autofocus is a little bit spotty, right?
Yeah.
It has good features. And then if people do want to, you know, they want to get the 4K slow-mo or whatever, or if they want to experiment with the high resolutions, they can. So I guess it still has a place in the market for new people. Because I know someone who bought a GH5 II literally 3 weeks ago, and I didn't have the heart to tell him, yeah, they're releasing a new one in like 3 weeks. So they had already bought it, and they're like, is this a good camera? I'm like, oh, yeah, just look at the specs. Yeah, it's good. It's got internal streaming and things like that, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I guess it still has a place. And I have shot beautiful stuff with this, you know, this camera. And if I had the 4K 120 or the HD VFR or the slow modes without the pixel binning that it used to do, like if you turn it up to like 120 HD, you'd basically get like 720p worth of vertical resolution. I think it was. It would just skip lines, so you'd just see it.
Oh my gosh!
But having 4K 120 and a 300 frames per second HD now, that's actually pretty nice. So shouldn't be too negative. I think the SSD recording is going to be a huge plus for people.
Yeah.
If it is actually usable straight out of the gate, or if it's firmware updatable.
Yes.
So yeah, it still has a place. I think if you were like, hey, I guess like people who just like, I want a camera, I want to get into videography or maybe some photography. They're a hybrid user, right? This could be a very good camera for them to start off with. And if they want to, you know, get the speed booster with a Sigma 1835, they're not going to be using autofocus anyway, so who cares? You know, I guess we are honing in on autofocus so much, but then our cameras don't even have it. So.
No,
we
they don't.
barely even use it ourselves. So
we have what, punch in autofocus, and that's about it. Even
we have the single button.
The only thing I ever use that button for is when I'm scuba diving. So that's the only time I ever use it, because it's easy to like punch it in real fast. But yeah, I'm not trying to be negative either. It's just kind of, and from anyone that watches my channel, you know, I'm always on the side of use the camera that works well for your situation. Use what you know. Any camera at this point can film well. Like you can go and get clients from any of these cameras at this point. I mean, the tech's just crazy. But in my opinion, if I was starting out, I like pushing people, especially if you're really wanting to get into video. I just like Blackmagic because I think it forces you to actually learn how to film well.
That's
where
true.
the auto, you know, but if you're looking just to do something easy, and I know with AP Studios, and the Nikon users I've been on the channel, their big thing is they just want to, like, they're all photographers who are wanting to get into video too. And my big thing to them is that's great. You don't have to worry about doing, log formats. Just shoot in a straight, like, a non-log format, so you don't have to color grade it to get into the video. Whatever the lowest barrier of entry for you to get into it is, go for that, because you'll get out there, you'll experience things, you'll learn how to film, all of that. So don't let any of me saying don't get this camera affect any of that, because it's a great camera. I think there's other cameras you could look at from any camera company at this point and find better cameras, or equal cameras that have better features because they have autofocus, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Caleb already pre-ordered it, right? So,
Well, I mean, did he? Okay,
And
did
his
Caleb?
friend.
Did Caleb pre-order, or is he getting a little shipment from?
Oh, yeah. He
I'm just kidding.
pre-ordered it.
I mean,
He sent an email to his representative.
He's-
Hey, I'll take one of them. Yeah,
He's like, guys, let me help you out with that live stream.
yeah, that was a really bad launch video. You need some help, so send one to me, and I'll do a nice review for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And AP Studio says the GH Cult won't be leaving here with thumbs up, but we do have Huey, who's here as a actual big Lumix user, and he's done with it. He's getting a full frame for photo. Go for it. Sony's great. I came from Sony before I went to Blackmagic. Their stuff's good. I like video. Don't love their photography. I like Canon's photography. I'm a little all over the place.
Interesting. I really like the pictures from Sony, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think they're a very specific look, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're crisp.
they are.
Sony's more, sorry, Canon's more smooth and organic, I would say. maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, a little softer.
Jasper has been asking this all night. He wanted to know if you've tried the BS1HM.
Is an M in the end?
I guess maybe
BS1H. That's the boxy one, right? That's the boxy one. No,
Yeah.
I personally have not. I've seen someone put it on a FPV drone, like a big one, but I've never used one myself. And as box cameras go, I'm still waiting for our old friends Blackmagic to come out with their one.
Hey, look, NAB is coming here soon. Just to let everyone know on this live
Yeah.
stream, I'm gonna be at NAB 2022.
We just got back in time, 20 years.
They would be blown away by the cameras I'd bring to that thing.
Right? Wow.
NAB 2022, gonna be there, gonna be covering some of it, gonna be going around. We're actually gonna have, for anyone that actually wants to go and see it, you can get on the show floor for free. Just join our Discord. We have the code and everything for you to get on the show floor. I think it's about $150 typically. But we're going to be there on the Monday night of that's happening in April. We are going to have a Frame Voyager hangout party, so you guys can come hang out with me, hang out with everyone. I have a couple different people from the channel, and it's going to be great. And I think another camera channel is coming. Or
I may be going.
You may
we
be
have
going.
to sort out. We have to sort out some things first.
Yeah.
And the plan is to go. I want to go, but I have to I have to get certain things
planned
finished first.
Yep.
Yeah. But it'll be great to go. Yeah, spend like a week in Vegas or whatever, and obviously go to the show and meet you guys. And yeah, it'll be pretty awesome. So hopefully, I mean, I got the tickets and everything. Haven't booked any hotels. Haven't booked any flights, but
You could
that's
see.
the.
Yeah, so
next
stay
steps, yeah.
tuned. You guys will just have to come to see if he shows up.
Yeah. Did Blackmagic reply to your email? Movie Facts asked.
My email.
You talk to Blackmagic, don't you?
Me?
You've got their ear, haven't you not? You lean.
No,
You-
some people have said that they were going to connect me with Blackmagic before, and nothing's come out of it. So I'm
Oh.
not sure if Grant Petty likes me making fun of him in the videos.
Oh no, we idolize him. I think.
We do. And I've even started a Grant Petty fan club on Facebook too. So it's a Facebook group.
Wow,
be a fun Facebook.
amazing. Nice.
But anyways, I can't think of anything more to talk about with this GH6. Do you guys have any questions? I guess before we wrap this up, this successful launch party thing. This would be great. I'm really excited. This was really a test, obviously, to talk about the GH6, but also to go to get ready for Blackmagic's out of the blue release. So
I'm looking at your stream,
Yeah.
And I'm just not the quality of my on my end of me is just so bad compared to yours.
I wonder why.
I wonder if there's something, I don't know. I wonder if there's a, because on the screen here I look great because obviously it's you pulling
That
my
is
feed in,
weird.
but,
Yeah, because it should be
but on
pulling.
the stream it's like I'm more pixely and boxy, which is really strange. But you're pretty good, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be streaming from my thing. It should be streaming from yours. So, but
That's
yeah,
very interesting.
that is very interesting.
Yeah.
So, anyone else have any questions? Oh, here we go. APU Studios says you're absolutely correct when you said audio is more important than video. Oh, I said that on their thing. Okay, Sean right now, it just makes sense. Shot on the new GH6. Oh yes.
Oh.
I did take some shots, and we were fair and balanced because another camera channel balanced me out there. So thank you.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's very easy to be super negative about it, but if you
It is.
try and step back and be like, okay, what does the camera actually have? Okay, 5 years ago, I'd have loved this. You know,
Yep.
Just didn't have the better autofocus.
This is the question.
Have they said that? Well, they never say anything, but it's what we can tell from what they
Whoa,
haven't
are
said
they showing
and
now
what they
some-
remove.
lens, you're also going to learn a little bit about macro photography by checking out some lenses that have a macro feature. And you're going to learn how we can take an ordinary lens and add an extension tube.
Okay, maybe this is just extra. Okay, I thought they were showing the camera stuff. Sorry, that was the stream. I was trying to pull it in again, but I don't think that's the. Well, actually,
focal length and field of view.
no, I think that's something else. Okay, sorry. Sorry.
What is that even?
I don't know.
Isn't that a Canon? Isn't that a Canon camera?
Yeah, I was like, wow, they're actually.
That's really confusing. Wow.
With Johnson. Okay, let me see. Look at some of these questions. Imagine if BM ended up releasing 2K bot. Ooh. I don't know if they'd go back.
Body.
I don't know if they'd go back to 2K. Do you think?
What does the 2K body look like? What is it? What is this? Magic 2K.
I mean, that would be like the original BMCC, right?
Oh, like. I mean, yeah, that's a. It's definitely boxy, but it's not very. You can't really attach anything onto it very easy. So. I thought you were saying being lazy when I say another camera.
I think it's.
Well, it's meant to be a play. It was meant to be a play. Is like on because there's so many camera channels. I call them camera channels. Like there's just so many of them, and some of them they used to have names, but now they've all kind of gone the personality based thing. Like they just use their real names now. So I'm just like, welcome to another camera channel. It's another person, and also like whenever there's a camera released, it's just the feed is just full of review videos from the people who got it first. So it's just like. It was meant to be a play on just how many of this there are now.
Yep.
So.
Which any of you watching, be sure to go and check out his channel. It's another camera channel. That's the actual name. It's not just another channel. It is another camera channel, but
it is another one. Yeah.
It's also the name of the channel. But go check it out. He's got some great stuff. He just put together this crazy live streaming box that I know we're gonna talk about here at some point soon because it's absolutely insane. So
yeah, it's all loaded up in the car, ready to go. I gotta go to a shoot after this, so
yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to bed after this. So
what time is it for you?
Oh, it's only 9. I'll probably stay up and edit or do something else. So
oh yeah, it's not bad.
Anyways, any guys have any other questions for this first live stream launch party watch? Don't worry, we're going to be bringing this to you for the Blackmagic cameras as they come, as long as Grant Petty gives me at least 24 hours to figure out how to do it. Usually it's about what, like an hour, 2 hours beforehand. You find out.
Yeah, I think they just go live and they just turn it on. I don't seem to get any like pre-announcements that anything is happening. It's just like I usually see after it's already happened. I wake up and it's just like, oh, 3 hours ago there was a product launch. It's like. God damn it. But yeah, hopefully I think next from them will be more ATEM stuff. They need to do a bit more updating. I think they haven't done any of the rack mounts ATEMs in a while. So we're hoping for something like that. And then yeah, hopefully box style camera. I'm using a 50-100 Sigma f1.8 on the 6K.
Ooh, and I'm just using my Lumix lens. So
Yeah.
so not all Lumix products are bad, like the GH6. So
Oh, you said it. Oh, hot take.
don't soundbite that.
Right? Yeah, we just clip that and put it at the front of the video.
Yes, all hail Black Magic.
Black Magic.
Grant Petty, the wizard. Yeah, everyone would buy a BM box style camera. I am so excited to talk about Blackmagic in a live stream and have that, because I feel like this chat would go absolutely insane over it. So you guys just wait, and hopefully we'll have I know another camera channel, and I keep trying to have a podcast together here at some point. So we're going to be doing that here soon, and maybe we'll do some more live stream content. It's been it's always fun collaborating.
Yeah. Well, not if I look so boxy. Like,
we'll have to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you're really clear.
Am I?
But then even the text, it's weird.
It's
I'm trying to set it. Yeah.
The more subscribers you have on YouTube, the clearer you actually look.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think we should try. You can RTMP over to me like we did in that test, and we'll stream it that way. I think that might be.
That would look great. Yeah.
That would be high quality. Perfect quality.
Oh my gosh. Cool. Well, unless anyone has any other questions, I'm probably going to wrap up the stream. I appreciate you guys all being here. Be sure to leave us a super like and
super like. Wow.
And some supers. Feature. Go ahead and donate to the stream. We're all, we just need that money. Those small rig parts don't pay for themselves.
Yeah, all these services that you're using.
Yeah.
All adds up. Yeah.
Thanks, Sean. It was great hanging out with you guys. This was we'll be bringing it back again sometime soon. I love live streaming and talking with you guys. It's always fun talking in person. And again, great hanging out with you. And
yeah, it was fun.
Have fun with your GH6.
Yeah, everyone who pre-ordered, let us know how it was, how it is.
Yes, hit
and
the
maybe
like.
if you want to win a cage for your GH6, make sure you're subscribed.
Yes, because I don't know
Voyager, because he's going to be giving one away.
Hey, maybe I'm going to rent the GH6 and it's just going to blow me away, and I'm going to forsake all Blackmagic.
Ooh, that's a clickbait title.
GH6 better than
Panasonic.
GH6 better than Ursa G12K.
Never. I mean, you could do get 4K 120. So
it's been 10 minutes with you guys. Thanks, AP Studios. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys later. This has been it.